All right, YouTubers, here on the Mustang EcoBoost 2016 4-cylinder, changing out the valve cover gasket. Couple areas in which you should probably take a look at when you're doing the valve covers. Notice this might be the first or the second time it was off, but there was a lot of gunk on the surface here. Want to make sure that it's all cleaned up. There is some use of RTV, obviously, in the corners, right? You want to make sure that you get that all cleaned out, because if you do that, life is going to be good for you and it's not going to leak. But you leave that old RTV in there, there's a good chance that it might re-leak. So make sure you get that cleaned up nice and clean. So one thing I did notice about this is as they get older, obviously the seals for your cam sensors get pretty brittle. All right, so what I did was I had to take them out, and here they are right here. Okay, these things are really brittle. They just kind of started falling apart. It actually was really hard for me to take the valve cover off, is because these were so hard, they were grabbing onto the sensor, so it was very difficult to pull out. So how did I take that out? Well, you want to make sure you get a socket that's pretty close to its size, or if you get man, I'm all off, but pretty close to its size, the socket, right? So you can punch it out. Mind you, this is a composite, valve cover or plastic, so easy to crack. So be careful when you're hitting it out. You don't want to put too much pressure, and you have to make sure that it's somewhat level, because if you don't have it level, you're hitting on an angle, and I'll show you when I go back here. All right, so coming back to the valve cover over here, I got this one in, right? And so did I use the same socket to drive it in? No, absolutely not. What I did was I used a bigger socket, so I know when I'm hitting the flat part right here. And so when the cam sensor goes in, I'm not gonna have necessarily an issue with that, and this is not sticking out. They're pretty tight in there, okay? So again, what did I use? See, you have this filler here, and the filler is a little bit higher than the rest of the valve cover. So what I used was a piece of wood here, some solid wood. I use as a base here, so that way when I'm hitting that seal down, I'm not necessarily hitting it on an angle. It's still fairly straight. So just a hammer, right, and a proper socket that fits properly on here, so you can put it on there. One other tip that I can give you is for it to go in or slide in a little bit easier, just use a slight coat of maybe brake bearing grease or white lithium, just a slight coat, so it helps slide in there as you're blowing it in with your hammer in your socket, or your hammer in your seal installer. So that's about it. I'm going to put the gasket back on. The only tip I have with regards to actually pulling it out is this wiring harness, okay? So this wiring harness is a little bit tight, so you don't want to put a lot of pressure on these wiring harnesses, because one, the wires are super thin, so they're easy to break. One thing I will do for the customer is, as you can see, see how this is all dried out? This is pretty close to the water pipe here, and which gets really hot. So, and it's just above the turbo, so that's dried out, cracked. I will probably cut that out, and I'm going to replace that so he doesn't have any problems down the road. And it's only going to take 10 minutes of my day to make that repair and just make it correct. And I think that's the coolant sensor on top there. I believe that's what it is. So we're going to take care of that for him. I got the spark plugs to do. It looks like maybe the original spark plugs that are in here. It's got over 100,000 miles, so we're going to get to that. So the other thing is, you want to make sure that when you're cleaning off the gasket material, that you're not necessarily dropping all that stuff in there, is because if you drop a bunch of stuff in there, big pieces of rubber, it goes down to the oil pan, and eventually or possibly you can get caught up in the screen and lower your oil pressure. So you want to make sure that that is something that you really pay attention to when you're actually cleaning this off. So what do I do to clean this off? Well, this is what I do. I have a plastic blade in which I start doing some of the initial scraping, and I'm going away right from the inside. And mind you, you're not going to get everything to go outside, because there's some areas where it's tougher. So what did I do in order to make sure that if something falls in, usually it catches, it doesn't just fall right to the bottom. So what I used in order to make sure that I pick up any of those small specks or maybe a little piece of rubber or something for the RTV that might have fell down. What I use is I use one of these, right? So it's a vacuum. So you can get a vacuum pump. It doesn't matter how big it is. This is an evacuator. Obviously, I'll set the air on it, and it creates enough suction in order to pick up anything that has fallen off or maybe fallen in. I'm able to pull it out without physically touching it or pushing it further down, and it's helped me out in this. So as you can see, the surface is nice and clean. Make sure in the back you get that nice and clean, is because that's where you're going to put the RTV. If you don't have those corners cleaned, there's a good chance that it's going to leak back there. The engine sits a little bit on a tilt, so the oil is going to drain to the back. So that's important that you have the RTV proper, because if you don't have it proper, it's probably going to leak. And make sure that you check that the plastic valve cover is not warped or cracked. All right, so one of the things I do is I clean the parts really well, so therefore I can see if there's any cracks. If there's any cracks, then obviously you're going to go and buy a new valve cover. All right, the job isn't terribly hard, but you don't want to be doing this twice if you have a cracked valve cover. So make sure you check that, make sure that's not messed up, and you put a messed up valve cover on there. So I'm going to tell the customer that he's got a little bit of play on his chain here, but it's not too bad. It looks pretty good for 140,000, I believe, miles. It doesn't look really terribly bad. There's not a lot of sludge buildup, so apparently he's taking care of it to some degree, and I think it'll probably give him a lot more miles. I'm going to change out the spark plugs, the igniters. Go with Denso. Denso is the original equipment manufacturer for this EcoBoost. It makes sense to just go ahead and put the stock stuff back in there. I got the Motorcraft plugs. So if you're interested in what Denso plugs they are, there it is right there, 67342. It's a 4203. Wait a second. It's gonna actually hurt. Sorry about that. My eyes are failing me. 673-6203. All right, made in USA. So you get a quality product. And how do you know it's a Fomoco? Look, Denso crosses up the Fomoco, right? On these igniters. It makes no sense buying a Fomoco when you could just get the Denso for 30% off, and they're exact same as the Fomoco. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you liked the video. If you did like to give it a video, you got questions, give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you later. I'm out.